Allah says in the glorious Quran, in Surah Tawbah, chapter number 9, verse number 36, that there are 12 months in a year. And Allah has ordained and He created the heavens and the earth, that He made 4 months sacred, which are Dhul Qada, Dhul Hijjah, Muharram and Rajab. And wrong not yourself in them. And the scholars say that these are the 4 sacred months.
And the worst of all affairs are the innovations in religion. For every innovation in religion is cursed. It is a source of misguidance and it leads ultimately to the hellfire. The Prophet ﷺ did not indicate Al-Muharram as the first month of the year in anything. The Prophet ﷺ did not indicate Al-Muharram as the first month of the year in anything. So, to attach to it any kind of religious celebrations then becomes bid'ah or innovation.
And by the way, if you wanted to go down this route, which is the bigger quote-unquote bid'ah? Making dua for your Muslim brother or sister, or bringing a whole new calendar that the Prophet ﷺ did not have? Which is the bigger quote-unquote bid'ah? Making dua for your Muslim brother or sister, or bringing a whole new calendar that the Prophet ﷺ did not have? Because the Hijri calendar is not from the Sunnah, quote-unquote. Because the Hijri calendar is not from the Sunnah, quote-unquote.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور ثم الذين كفروا بربهم يعدلون ونزلنا عليك الكتاب تبيانا لكل شيء وهدى ورحمة وبشرى للمسلمين. Assalamu alaikum, my dear brothers and sisters. We seek refuge in Allah from Shaitan the outcast. We begin in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Inshallah, today we are looking at the 12 months of Allah. Which of the 12 months is the month of Ramadan, and also which of the 12 months are the secret months, my dear brothers and sisters. Almighty Allah has informed us in the Quran, Quran chapter 9, verse 36. Almighty Allah said, indeed, the number of months with Allah are 12 months in the register of Allah, the day He created the heavens and the earth, out of which 4 are secret. And Almighty Allah continued to say, ذَلِكَ الدِّينُ الْقَيِّمُ, that is the correct religion, my dear brothers and sisters. Now, the 12 months of Allah in the register of Allah, we have explained, we have already talked about how to determine the 12 months of Allah. May Allah give us understanding. And it is Allah, He is the one who has explained to us how we are to determine the 12 months. And we have already made a video, we have already talked about that, my dear brothers and sisters. I recommend you to watch that video so that inshallah you get the full explanation of how to determine the 12 months, the beginning of the year, the first month, the second month, the third month, the fourth month, how to know which month we are in, my dear brothers and sisters, because this is something divine. This is a divine issue. You cannot just make any month first. You cannot just make any month second or third. That is why our Sunni brothers and sisters, we are saying to them that they are what? They are following misguidance, because the Sunnis themselves, they admit that the Hijri calendar that they are following, the first month that they have on the Hijri calendar, the second, the third, that was the desires, that was the decision that they themselves they made. The claim that they made was that during the time of the Prophet Muhammad, all the years that the Prophet Muhammad lived with them, they weren't able to what? To ask the Prophet, oh Prophet of Allah, the 12 months of Allah, which is first, which is second, which is third, which is fourth, they weren't able to what? To ask the Prophet of Allah for him to teach them. And also the Prophet also forgot to teach them. And all the companions, they all forgot to ask the Prophet, which is first month, which is second month, which is third month. My dear brothers and sisters, we all know that this is a plain falsehood. This is a lie. And why they are doing this, why they brought these false narrations, is what? Is to try to mislead people from the way of Allah. Because the Quran has informed us that even before the Prophet Muhammad, that was the practice of those before. They used to mislead people from the month that Almighty Allah has made sacred or has made forbidden. And Allah has talked about this issue in the Quran. Almighty Allah says, إِنَّمَا النَّسِيءُ زِيَادَةٌ فِي الْكُفْرِ. Indeed, the postponement is an increase in disbelief, my dear brothers and sisters. So, after the Prophet Muhammad, when they wanted to go back to those practices that their fathers were doing, those idol worships that their fathers were worshipping, when they wanted to go back that way, now they have to find a way to what? To go back to those practices. And one of the ways is to what? Was to invent a lie, falsehood against the Prophet Muhammad, that he did not teach them the 12 months. So they claim that they came together and they did not even recognize this to be a divine issue. To them, any month can be first, any month can be second. So they were bringing different suggestions. Some is saying Ramadan should become first, some is saying, so that is what the Sunnis, that is what they have in their books, and that is their default, that is what they believe, my dear brothers and sisters. And it is true. Allah has said in the Quran, Allah has taught us, giving us a mechanism to what? To determine the 12 months, my dear brothers and sisters. And we have known, Allah has said, Quran chapter 10 verse 5, Almighty Allah said, indeed, the moon, He has decreed for it. Allah said what? وَقَدَّرَهُ مَنَازِلَ لِتَعْلَمُوا عَدَدَ السِّنِينَ وَالْحِسَابِ. We have decreed for it declining positions so that you may know the number of the years and the system of time. So Allah said the years are going to be known by the moon, the position of the moon. When you see the moon, where the moon is positioned, the new moon, every month begins with a new moon. And every new moon that we see has got a particular what? Has got a particular position. So you are going to know the month that we are in by the position of the new month or the new moon or the crescent. May Allah, the new crescent, may Allah give us understanding, my dear brothers and sisters. So in another ayah in Quran chapter 2, Almighty Allah said, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَحِلَّةِ قُلْ هِيَ مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ وَالْحَجِّ. They ask you about the what? About the new moons. You should say to them, the new moons, they are timings for mankind and also for the Hajj. So the position where you are going to cite the crescent is going to let you know whether it is time for Hajj or it is not time for Hajj. However, Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, all these verses in the Quran, they turn blind eye to all of them. And they are claiming that what? Any month can be first, any month can be second, any month can be third. And by their doing, what they did was that they have postponed the month of Ramadan to a different month. So right now, the month that they have on their calendar, the Hijri calendar, that is the 11th month, my dear brothers and sisters. That is not the month of Ramadan. As I am speaking, we are, yesterday was on the 30th of the 8th month. So whoever was able to witness the crescent of the 9th month, that is the crescent of Ramadan. Today being the 13th. 13th is the what? 13th. Today being the 1st of Rajab. This month that they are calling Rajab, by the position of the what? Of the crescent of the what? Of the month that they call Rajab. That is the 9th month, my dear brothers and sisters. So as I'm speaking, we have now, today is the 1st of what? Is the 1st of what? Is the 1st of Ramadan. May Allah give us understanding. However, if you were to follow the Hijri calendar, you are going to find it to be the 7th on their what? On their calendar. My dear brothers and sisters, that's why I'm saying that the numbers that they have, the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, that is desires. That is their own desires. That's what they concocted, they invented. And they admit, they accept, just like what? Just like other people, when they, at times, they do something, they claim, and they accept where what? That thing came from. May Allah give us understanding, my dear brothers and sisters. So we are in the month of Ramadan. We are in the month of Ramadan. We made a video previously to what? To determine, to show how to determine. And I have said, you should look for it yourself, my dear brothers and sisters. Allah created us to worship Him. And Allah wants everything that what you are going to follow. Allah wants you to have evidence of everything that what you follow. Allah doesn't want you to follow something without knowledge. That's why we explained the methodology, how Allah has explained in the Quran, to determine the month that we are in. So that when the month of Ramadan comes, you don't need anyone to tell you that we are in the month of Ramadan. If you know how Allah has taught us in the Quran to determine the month, then you can determine it yourself. May Allah give us understanding. That is why you have been what? You have been created, my dear brothers and sisters. So may Allah give us understanding. However, we weren't able to what? To talk. We made mention that Ramadan is the 9th month. But the evidence, because at times, anything that you are to say from the Quran, you have to produce evidence. Allah said what? Kul hatu burhanakum in kuntum sadiqin. You should bring your evidence if you are to be among the what? You are to be among the truthful. So you cannot just say Ramadan is the 4th month, or Ramadan is the 5th month, or Ramadan is the 6th month. If you were to say Ramadan is the 9th month, you have to produce the evidence from the Quran, my dear brothers and sisters. So today, that is what we want to look at. The verses which is confirming that Ramadan is the 9th months, and also the forbidden or the sacred months. What are they? May Allah give us understanding, my dear brothers and sisters. So we begin from Quran chapter 2, verse 158. You know, Almighty Allah, if you were to read Quran chapter 2, I will recommend that you start from the beginning to get the full concept. Start from Surah to Baqarah, the beginning, Quran chapter 2. If you open your Quran, you find the Surah which has been named Surah to Baqarah, Quran chapter 2. If you were to start from the beginning, you are going to get the whole concept. May Allah give us understanding, my dear brothers and sisters. However, as a matter of time, I'm going to bring our attention on the points that is to help us to understand the month, the 12 months, which of them is Ramadan, and also the sacred months. So, Quran chapter 2, verse 158. Almighty Allah is saying that indeed the Safa and the Marwa are among the symbols of Allah. So, my dear brother, in Quran chapter 2, verse 158, Almighty Allah says, indeed, the Safa and the Marwa are among the symbols of Allah. So, whoever is to make Hajj to the house or is to perform Umrah to the house, there is no sin upon him if he is to go in between them. If you are to go in between the Safa and the Marwa, there is no sin upon you. So, Quran chapter 2, verse 158, Almighty Allah spoke about the Hajj. If we continue with the verses, Quran chapter 2, verse 183, Allah then came to speak about Hajj. So if we were to start the beginning, if we were to start reading the surah from the beginning, Allah spoke about Hajj before later on coming to speak about what? Coming to speak about the fasting or the month of Ramadan. However, when Allah said, whoever performs Hajj to the house, that particular verse, Allah did not teach us when to perform the Hajj. It is later that Allah taught us when we are to perform the Hajj and the Umrah, my dear brothers and sisters. So Quran chapter 2, verse 183, Almighty Allah said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyamu kama kutiba alal ladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. Almighty Allah said, oh, you who believed, decreed upon you is the fasting as it was decreed upon those before you. La'allakum tattaqun, in order for you to what? For you to gain piety. So the purpose of the fasting is to get the taqwa, is to get faith in Allah, my dear brothers and sisters. When we continue with the ayah, Quran chapter 2, verse 184, Almighty Allah then said, Ayyaman ma'dudat, faman kana minkum maridun aw ala safarin fa'iddatun min ayyamin ukhar. My dear brothers and sisters. So Allah said, the days of the fasting, Allah referred to the days of the fasting as ayyaman ma'dudat. Then Allah said, whoever is sick or is on a journey, fa'iddatun min ayyamin ukhar, then a period from other days, my dear brothers and sisters. So the days of the fasting are specifically explained by Allah in the Quran to be ayyam and ma'dudat. And Allah said, whoever is sick or is on a journey and is not able to fast during ayyam in ma'dudat, such a person should fast during ayyam in uhar. My dear brothers and sisters, Allah should give us understanding. And these two terms, ayyam in ma'dudat and ayyam in what? Ayyam in uhar, is going to help us to determine what? To determine the 12 months, which of them is Ramadan. Allah uses some key terms, and these key terms is going to help us to determine which position is Ramadan among the 12 months. So we should pay attention to these two terms that Allah said, what? We have ayyamun ma'dudat, we also have ayyamun uhar. And what does it mean? When we say ayyamun ma'dudat, we should go to the next ayah, Quran chapter 2, verse 185. Almighty Allah said, Shahru Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran, hudan lin-nasi wa bayyinati min al-huda wal-furqan. Faman shahida minkum ash-shahra falyasum. وَمَنْ كَانَ مَرِيضٌ أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرَ يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. My dear brothers and sisters, so Allah said, the month of Ramadan in which the Quran was sent down as guidance for what? As guidance for mankind and what? And also evidences of the guidance. Wal-Furqan, and the criterion of right and wrong. Then Almighty Allah said, Faman shahida minkumu shahra falyasum. Whoever among you witnesses the months, let him fast it. My dear brothers and sisters, you should pay attention. Allah said, whoever witnesses the months should fast it. So if you are to witness the month of Ramadan, you should fast it, my dear brothers and sisters. So to fast it, the pronoun which was used, fast it, is referring to what? Is referring to what? Ramadan. The 8th is referring to what? The 8th is referring to Ramadan. So Allah says you should fast it, meaning you are going to fast the whole 30 days, the whole month. Allah did not say you should fast some days of the month. Allah said you should fast 8, meaning you're going to fast all the days. May Allah give us understanding. However, Allah said if you are sick or you are on a journey, then a period from other days. So if you are to pay attention to this, the days of Ramadan, that is what? That is Ayyamun Ma'dudat. After that, we move to another period known as Ayyamin Ukhar. My dear brothers and sisters, Ayyamin Ukhar is not the same as Ayyamin Ma'dudat. Just like in the Quran, we are having what? We are having Ayatul Mutashabihat and we have Ayatul Muhkamat. The two are not the same. May Allah give us understanding. Inshallah. My dear brothers and sisters, so if we continue with the ayah, then Allah said, Quran chapter 2, verse 194, Almighty Allah said, Ash-shahrul haramu bi-shahril harami wal-hurumat qisas. Almighty Allah said, the forbidden month is with the forbidden month. The forbidden month is with the forbidden month. As Almighty Allah said, there are 12 months, out of which 4 are forbidden or secret. Allah is now teaching us that the 4 forbidden months, they are consecutive, they are together. My dear brothers and sisters. So Allah said the forbidden month is with the forbidden month, meaning they are together. Then Allah is now saying to us that Quran chapter 2 verse 196, Almighty Allah is now saying, وَعَتِمُ الْحَجَّ وَالْأُمْرَةَ لِلَّهِ. Then Allah said, complete the Hajj and the Umrah for Allah. My dear brothers and sisters, so there are 12 months, out of which 4 are forbidden. Allah has said to us in Quran chapter 2 verse 194 that the forbidden months, they are consecutive. The word that Allah used, Allah said, Ash-shahrul haramu bi-shahril haram. The forbidden month is with the forbidden month. The preposition which was used, the harf, bi, it can mean in. At times, it can also mean with. So depending upon the context, that we shall know the meaning of the bi. And Almighty Allah has made it very plain. Example, in one verse of the Quran, Allah said, Allazina yu'minuna bil-ghaib. Those who believe in the unseen. So in the unseen, bil-ghaib. However, in another ayah, Allah was talking about what? Talut and his soldiers, when they set out to go to war. Quran chapter 2, verse 249. Almighty Allah said, فَلَمَّا فَصَلَ طَالُوتُ بِالْجُنُودِ. When Talut set out, bil-junud, with the soldiers. So he went out, he did not go to the war alone. He set out with the soldiers. The preposition which was used, with, is the same be. So Allah said, فَلَمَّا فَصَلَ طَالُوتُ بِالْجُنُودِ. So the harf be can mean what? It can mean in, it can mean with, depending upon the context. However, Almighty Allah has made it very plain, very clear that the forbidden month is with the forbidden month. So they are consecutive. If you were to look at other translations, you find them that they have written the forbidden month is for the forbidden month, and that is incorrect. May Allah give us understanding. If you were to say the forbidden month is for the forbidden month, unless you were to bring in other ways, it will not become meaningful. May Allah give us understanding, my dear brothers and sisters. So Allah continue, Quran chapter 2 verse 196. Almighty Allah is now saying to us that complete the Hajj and the Umrah for Allah. Allah said complete the Hajj and the Umrah, my dear brothers and sisters. Allah did not say complete the Umrah and the Hajj. Hajj was first. So Hajj is a period. Hajj is a period. And Almighty Allah, if you continue with the next ayah, Allah said, Al-Hajju Ashhurun Ma'lumat. The Hajj is the well-known month. So Quran chapter 2 verse 197, Almighty Allah is saying to us that the Hajj is the well-known month. So we are having the well-known months. There are 12 months, out of which some are well-known. So we don't know when to perform the Hajj. And Allah is now saying to us that the Hajj is the well-known months. What are the well-known months? The well-known months are the forbidden months. The 4 forbidden months are the well-known months. So Hajj is the well-known month. So the period for Hajj is 4 months. The period for Hajj, the well-known months. Allah said months. And in Arabic, when we have a word for singular, we have a word for dual, and we have a word for plural. Allah used the plural, which means 3 or more. So Hajj is not a period of 10 days. My dear brother, as our Sunnis, they will just tell you that on the 9th or on the 10th, that day is the day. This is falsehood. There's no evidence for this. Anyone, if you were to say something, they don't have any evidence to produce from the Quran, because that innovation, that thing was created outside. And Allah has made the Quran to be what? To be an explanation for all things. So the Quran is saying that Hajj is not a day. Hajj is not a week. Hajj, Allah said Hajj. Al-Hajju Ashhurun Ma'lumat. Hajj is what is the well-known months. Months, which means 3 or more. And we know the well-known months, there are 4 forbidden months. So Hajj is 4 forbidden months, my dear brothers and sisters. And so now, the 4 forbidden months, Allah is now showing us the position of the what? Of the 4 forbidden months. If there are 12 months, the 4 forbidden months, are they the first 4? Are they the middle 4? Or are they the last 4? Allah has already established and taught us that the months are consecutive. They are together. They are together. And we have already talked about knowing the what? Knowing the middle portion of something. In one ayah that Allah said, concerning as-salah, Almighty Allah said, Hafizu ala salawati wa salatil wusta. Guard the prayers, especially the middle prayer. And when Allah used the middle prayer, it is helping us to know the what? The number of the prayers. So if the middle is a singular, the middle is 1, the middle portion is 1, then we were able to know that the prayers in total are 3. So we have the first one, the middle one, and the last one. The same, if the total is 6, if we know the total, we can also know the middle. So if we have 6, then we will have the first 2, the middle 2, the last 2. So 6 means the middle is going to be 2. And when Almighty Allah, example like the month, a period of 30 days, we are having first 10 days, middle 10 days, last 10 days. So the same to the 12 months. Allah has told us the total number, that the months are 12, out of which 4 are forbidden. So that we have 12 months, then we have the first 4 months, middle 4 months, and the last 4 months. May Allah give us understanding. So now, we want to know, what are the forbidden months? Are they the first 4 months? Are they the middle 4 months? Or are they the last 4 months? We are to continue with the surah. Almighty Allah has explained everything in detail. May Allah give us understanding. And Allah said, complete the Hajj and the Umrah. So Allah said we should complete the Hajj and the Umrah. You are going to complete the Hajj before you complete the Umrah. If I'm to say to you that complete level 1 and level 2, it means you are going to complete level 1 before you complete level 2. You are not going to do the other way around. So the command that Allah gave, Allah said, وَأَتِمُوا الْحَجَّ وَالْأُمْرَةَ لِلَّهِ. Complete the Hajj and the Umrah. Hajj is to be completed first before you complete the Umrah. So Hajj will be over. Hajj will be over. Hajj, the period for the Hajj will be completed. Hajj is not a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. No. Hajj is what? Hajj is a period of what? A period of what? 4 months. That's what Allah said. Al-Hajju ashhurun ma'lumat. So after the months of Hajj are over, then you complete what? You complete the what? You complete the Umrah. May Allah give us understanding. So this is also telling us that the forbidden months, which are the same as the months of the Hajj, cannot be the last. Cannot be the last 4 months. Because if we were to say they are the last 4 months, then after the what? After the period or the months of Hajj are over, it means there will not be any period for the what? For the Umrah. May Allah give us understanding. So after the 4 months of Hajj are completed, there is another period that is for the Umrah. That's why Allah said complete the Hajj and the Umrah. May Allah give us understanding. So the Umrah is referring to what? It's referring to a period. And Allah, if we continue with the ayah, Almighty Allah will come and teach us also the period for the Umrah. What is the period for the Umrah? Because for the period for the Hajj, Allah has specifically said to us that the Hajj is the well-known months. May Allah give us understanding. The well-known months. Why are they called well-known months? The well-known months are the months, the forbidden months, because during that time, any person, you can travel to any part of the world without you not being harmed. Whether you are a believer, you are a disbeliever. It is something that was what? That was established, that during those periods, you can what? Allah said, you should travel freely. Quran chapter 9, verse 1 to 5. Quran chapter 9, verse 1 to 5. When Almighty Allah is saying to them, Allah said, do they have 4 months, even the disbelievers who betrayed Allah and His Messenger? Allah said to them that they still have the 4 months, because that is something that is ordained by Allah, that fighting should not happen during those periods. So Allah said they have 4 months to travel freely. So if you are having a period that you know you can travel without any harm attaching or any harm coming to you, nobody killing you or nobody fighting you, that will be something that everybody will learn. So the well-known months, Hajj is the well-known months. And why they are the well-known months? Because everybody will take this, everybody likes that period. For that period, you are going to travel without you being harmed. And everybody is going to learn that period. If we are having something that is benefiting everyone, it is going to be well known. May Allah give us understanding. So we don't know the Hajj, and Allah is using the well-known months to teach us when the Hajj is, my dear brothers and sisters. So if we continue, Allah said we should complete the Hajj and the Umrah. So now we know that the Hajj is completed before the Umrah. If we continue with the surah, may Allah give us understanding, my dear brothers and sisters. Allah said, there is no sin on you if you seek the bounty of your Lord. So if you also perform the Hajj, there is no sin upon you to trade. You can seek the bounty of Allah. It is not forbidden. Then Allah said, then when you leave Arafat, remember Allah at Mash'ar al-Haram, my dear brothers and sisters. So Allah has given us that we should remember Allah at a particular place when you are to perform the Hajj. Today we are not talking about the Hajj. We want to look at the months, which of the 12 months are the forbidden months, and also which of the 12 months is the month of Ramadan. So inshallah, some of the rituals of the Hajj and other things, I'm not going to explain it today. We are just looking at, we want to establish ourselves on the principle, the position of the months. That is what we specifically want to do. Then Allah said, Quran chapter 2 verse 199, Allah said, then depart from the place whence all the people depart, and ask Allah for forgiveness. Indeed, Allah is forgiving, most merciful. If you continue, Quran chapter 2 verse 200, Allah said, فَإِذَا قَضَيْتُمْ مَنَاسِكَكُمْ. Allah said, when you have completed your rituals, please pay attention to this ayah. Quran chapter 2 verse 200. Now Allah is saying that when you have completed the rituals of the Hajj, Allah said, you should remember Allah as you remember your fathers, or even with a greater remembrance. So after you have completed the rituals of the Hajj, when the Hajj is completed, Allah said you should remember Allah as you remember You remember your fathers, or with a greater remembrance. May Allah give us understanding. And Allah said, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا. Allah is saying that among mankind are those who say, our Lord, give us from what? Give us of the life of this world goodness. You understand? And in the hereafter, they have nothing. They ask for the hasana, they ask for the good in the life of this world, and they don't care in the hereafter to get something. Allah said, in the hereafter, they will get nothing. Then Allah continued by saying that, وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَقُولُ رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. And among them are some who say, our Lord, give us goodness in the life of this world and in the hereafter, and also save us from the what? Save us from the fire. May Allah give us understanding. My dear brothers, if we continue with the ayah, Quran chapter 2 verse 203, then Allah said, فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ فِي أَيَّامٍ مَعْدُودَاتٍ. Almighty Allah is now saying that, then you should remember Allah fi ayamin ma'dudat. My dear brothers and sisters, when we started, I said, when we Quran chapter 2 verse 184 and 85, Allah explained that ayamin ma'dudat and ayamin uhar. Allah explained it for us. Now Allah is saying that when you have completed the Hajj, you should remember Allah fi ayamin ma'dudat. You should remember Allah in ayamin ma'dudat. And we know what are ayamin ma'dudat? According to the Quran, ayamun ma'dudat. We have ayamun ma'dudat and ayamun uhar. Ayamun ma'dudat are the days of Ramadan. And Allah is saying that when you have completed the rituals of the Hajj, you should now remember Allah fi ayamin ma'dudat. So ayamin ma'dudat are the days of Ramadan. And this verse is telling us that Hajj is before Ramadan. According to the Quran, Hajj is before ayamun ma'dudat. And ayamun ma'dudat are the days of Ramadan. That is what Allah has explained. So Allah just explained it some few verses. If we are to go back, Quran chapter 2 verse 184 and 185, Allah explained the days of Ramadan. Allah said, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. Then Allah explained, Quran chapter 2 verse 184, Allah said, ayaman ma'dudat. The days of Ramadan are ayaman ma'dudat. فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضٌ أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. Quran chapter 2 verse 184, Almighty Allah explained ayaman ma'dudat, which are the days of Ramadan, that whoever is sick or is on a journey, فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ, a period from other days, my dear brothers and sisters. So all the days of all the 11 months, that is what? That is ayamun ukhar. And we have ayamun ma'dudat, which are the days of Ramadan. And now, when we continue with the verses, Allah is now telling us that when you have completed the rituals of the Hajj, you should remember Allah fi ayamin what? Ayamin ma'dudat. Then Allah continued by saying that what? فَمَنْ تَعَجَّلَ فِي يَوْمَيْنِ. Whoever hastens in 2 days, meaning after you have completed the Hajj, if you are to leave 2 days during ayamin ma'dudat, Allah said, فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. there is no sin upon him. Then Almighty Allah is saying to us, my dear brothers, Allah is saying to us, Quran chapter 2, verse 203, Allah said, Ayyamin ma'dudat. If you should remember Allah, fi ayyamin ma'dudat, in the days of what? In the days of what? Ayyamun ma'dudat. Then Allah said, وَمَنْ تَعَجَّلَ فِي يَوْمَيْنِ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. Whoever is to hasten in 2 days, meaning if you were to live in 2 days during ayyam, what? Ayyamun ma'dudat, Allah said, there is no sin upon you. And also Allah said, وَمَنْ تَأَخَّرَ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. And also the one who is also going to live after ayyamun ma'dudat, there is also no sin upon him. So Quran chapter 2 verse 203, my dear brothers and sisters, Allah is saying that the time to leave what? To leave the Hajj, at least it should be 2 days during ayyamun ma'dudat. So when you perform the Hajj, you cannot leave until 2 days of what? Ayyamun ma'dudat. You are going to spend at least 2 days of ayyamun ma'dudat. And the days of ayyamun ma'dudat are the days of Ramadan. Allah has spoken about it in the previous verses. May Allah give us understanding, my dear brothers and sisters. Now, Allah is saying that وَمَنْ تَأَخَّرَ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. And also the one, ta'akhara, as we said, Allah used the word ta'akhara, which is also from the word ukhar. So Allah talked about ayyamin ma'dudat and ayyamun ukhar. My dear brothers and sisters, Quran chapter 2 verse 203, Almighty Allah has talked about remembering Allah fi ayyamin what? Fi ayyamin ma'dudat. So Allah said that you should remember Allah in ayyamin ma'dudat. فَمَنْ تَعَجَّلَ فِي يَوْمَيْنِ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. Whoever is to hasten in 2 days, there is no sin upon him, my dear brothers and sisters. So you can live in 2 days during ayyamin what? During ayyamin ma'dudat. So when you perform the Hajj, the time that you can leave the Hajj must be at least, you have to spend at least 2 days in what? Of ayyamin ma'dudat. And that is the days of Ramadan. And Allah continued by saying that وَمَنْ تَأَخَّرَ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. And the one who is also going to wait for ayyamin ma'dudat to be over and is going to live during ayyamin ukhar, there is no sin upon him. So here Allah has used the verbal form. Allah said وَمَنْ تَأَخَّرَ. Ta'akhara, which is from the word ukhar. We have the noun. Ukhar is the noun and the verb is ta'akhara. So Allah said وَمَنْ تَأَخَّرَ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. My dear brothers and sisters, may Allah give us understanding. So, that is it. Allah has explained to us that the days of what? The days of the Hajj or the months of the Hajj are before ayyamun ma'dudat, my dear brothers and sisters. And we know Allah has explained that ayyamun ma'dudat are the days of Ramadan. May Allah give us understanding. What does it mean? Someone might say, what is the meaning of ayyamun ma'dudat? In another verse of the Quran, Allah was talking about the disbelievers. وَقَالُوا لَن تَمَسَّنَا النَّارُ إِلَّا ayyamin ma'dudat. They were saying that the fire of hell will not touch them except for what? Ayyamun ma'dudat. Ayyamin ma'dudat. Days with what? Limited number of days. Limited number of days. When we say ayyamun ma'dudat, days with a particular ending, my dear brothers and sisters. So they were saying that when they go to hellfire, they are going to spend days with a particular ending, days with a particular beginning, and days with a particular ending. That is it. And after that, they'll be taken out. And this is falsehood. Almighty Allah continued by saying that, do they have any covenant with Allah? They don't have any covenant with Allah. And that is they are following their own desires, my dear brothers and sisters. So, Allah said, complete the Hajj and the Umrah. Complete the Hajj and the Umrah. So we know that Hajj is before Ayyamun Ma'dudah, which is Ramadan. You cannot perform Hajj after the month of Ramadan, my dear brothers and sisters. As we said, the 12 months, you want to know the position, and we have already known that Allah saying complete the Hajj and the Umrah means Hajj cannot be the last month of the year. If you are to say Hajj is the last month of the year, there will not be any period for the what? For the Umrah. May Allah give us understanding. So Allah is saying complete the Hajj and the what? And the Umrah. After the Hajj is completed, then we complete the Umrah. May Allah give us understanding, my dear brothers and sisters. If we come back to Quran chapter 9 verse 5, Quran chapter 9 verse 5, Allah was talking about, Almighty Allah said, فَإِذَا انْسَلَخَ الْأَشْهُرُ الْحُرُمُ. Allah was talking about what? About the forbidden months. And Almighty Allah said, when the forbidden months have passed, when the forbidden months have passed, you should what? You should fight the disbelievers. You should kill them wherever you find them. So Allah said, when the forbidden months have passed, Quran chapter 9 verse 5, this means there is a period that all the forbidden months will come to pass. There is a period that the forbidden months will pass. May Allah give us understanding. And it's also confirming that the forbidden months or the sacred months cannot be the last 4 months. Because if we were to say the last 4 months are the forbidden months, when can we say the forbidden months have passed? If we are in the first month, the second month has not passed, the third month has not passed, the third and the fourth, the fifth, they are yet to come. So when we are in the first month, the third month is yet to come, the ninth month is yet to come. However, Allah is saying, Quran chapter 9, verse 5, Allah said, when the forbidden months have passed, so there is a period that the forbidden months will come to pass. And that means that the forbidden months cannot be the last 4 months. So right now we are left with what? We are left with the first 4 months or the middle 4 months. We have to continue with the verses of Allah to know which of the months, is it the first 4 or the middle 4? We now know that the last 4 months are out. May Allah give us understanding. And there is one particular ayah in Quran chapter 2 verse 196. When Almighty Allah was talking about the Hajj, Allah said, whoever is to perform the Umrah to the Hajj, Allah said, whoever, Quran chapter 2 verse 196, Allah talked about whoever is to perform the Umrah to the Hajj, meaning we are going to perform the Umrah before the Hajj. That can also be done. Allah said, فَإِذَا أَمِنْتُمْ فَمَنْ تَمَتَّعَ بِالْأُمْرَةِ إِلَى الْحَجِّ فَمَا اسْتَيْسَرَ مِنَ الْحَدِيِ. My dear brothers and sisters, so Almighty Allah said, وَإِذَا أَمِنْتُمْ, and when you are secure, then whoever performs the Umrah to the Hajj, my dear brothers and sisters. So Allah is saying that the Umrah can be performed to what? Before the Hajj. So you can perform the Umrah to the Hajj. May Allah give us understanding. And this is also telling us that the months of Hajj cannot be the first 4 months. Allah is saying that there is the period of the Umrah. There is the period of the Umrah before the Hajj. So we have the Umrah before the Hajj, and we also have Hajj and the Umrah. So the default that Allah said in the Quran is that we should complete the Hajj and the Umrah for Allah. And however, Allah is saying that فَإِذَا أَمِنْتُمْ, however, in case you are secure, then whoever performs the Umrah to the Hajj. So Hajj is in the middle. The months of the Hajj are in the middle. May Allah give us understanding. So there is the period. You can perform the Umrah. You can enjoy the Umrah to what? To the Hajj. This means Umrah is going to be performed. You're going to perform the Umrah before the months of the Hajj complete or begins. Before the months of the Hajj begins. May Allah give us understanding. So this is letting us to know that the 12 months that we are having, the Hajj months or the forbidden months are the middle, my dear brothers and sisters. So just like Almighty Allah made us to know that the prayers, the best of the prayers is the middle prayer. The same, there are 12 months, and the middle 4 months are also what? Are also the forbidden or the most secret months. May Allah give us understanding. The forbidden months, the word that Allah used the word what? Ashhurul Hurum, which means forbidden months. And when we say something is forbidden, it means particular things are not to be allowed or to be done in those months. My dear brothers and sisters, so that is something very plain. And this is why Ramadan is the 9th month. The middle months are the months of the Hajj. They are the forbidden months. So we have the what? We have the 5, 6, 7, 8 to be the forbidden months or to be the months of the Hajj. And after that, Allah is saying that what? When the forbidden months or when the months, the Hajj is over, when are you to complete? When you completed the rituals of the Hajj, when are you to leave? Allah said, well, at least 2 days in Ayyam in Ma'dudat. So after you have completed the Hajj, the next period is what? Is Ayyamun Ma'dudat. And Ayyamun Ma'dudat, according to Quran chapter 2, verse 184 and 185, Allah has explained Ayyamun Ma'dudat and Ayyamun Ukhar. Ayyamun Ma'dudat are exclusively the days of Ramadan. Ayyamun Ma'dudat are the days of Ramadan exclusively. After that, Allah said, فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. If you are not able to fast during Ayyamun Ma'dudat, Allah said a period from other days. A period from other days to do what? To fast. To make up the missed fast. So we are going to make up the missed fast in a period known as Ayyamun Ukhar. So Allah said, فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. The iddah is going to be different because somebody might have missed the fast for 5 days. Somebody might have missed the fast for 7 days. So your iddah will depend upon the number of days that you were sick or the number of days that you were on a journey. So the iddah is not going to be the same. So if maybe someone was on a journey and the person missed the fast for 8 days, it means that person is going to fast 8 days min ayyamun ukhar, from other days. That is ayyamun ma'dudat are over. My dear brothers and sisters, so Allah should give us understanding. So that is something that Allah has explained. The days of what? The days of Ramadan are after the Hajj is to be performed, completed. Allah said we should complete the rituals. Quran chapter 2 verse 200. 2 verse 200. فَإِذَا قَضَيْتُمْ مَنَاسِكَكُمْ. After you have completed the rituals of the Hajj, then Allah said, فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ. You should remember Allah as you remember your fathers, or with a greater remembrance. Almighty Allah then continue by saying, you should remember Allah fi ayyamin ma'dudat. In what? In a period known as ayyamun ma'dudat. May Allah give us understanding, my dear brothers and sisters. So, Ramadan of 2024, the month that Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, they are referring to as Rajab. The Rajab, which if you were to look at the Hijri calendar, is the number 7. However, that is the 9th month according to the position of the what? According to the position of the moon. According to the crescent where the new moon was sighted. That is what? That is the 9th month. May Allah give us understanding. My dear brothers and sisters, we came to this world to worship Allah. That is why when Almighty Allah is saying that what? Anything that you are going to hear, anything you are going to see, Allah is going to question you on the day of judgment. So after you hearing the truth, if you turn away from the truth after it has reached you, my dear brothers and sisters, then on the day of judgment, you don't have any excuse. That's why Allah is saying that whatever that is being said to you, you should ask for the evidence. Ask for the evidence for everything. And after that, you are the one that Allah has made you the judge. Allah has given you the intellect. You don't have to say, all of mankind or everyone is doing this, so I also have to do this. No. Allah said if you were to follow the majority of the people, they will mislead you. They will mislead you far away from the way of Allah. So my dear brothers and sisters, as Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, they have made their own calendar, which has got nothing. A calendar which was brought, it has got nothing to do with the Prophet Muhammad. And they have postponed the month of Ramadan. So Allah has talked about that postponement. It was done before. The month of Ramadan was postponed. The months of the Hajj were postponed. So Allah is saying that what? Indeed, the postponement is an increase in disbelief, by which those who disbelieve are led astray from the way of Allah. So if you are going to wait for this month of Ramadan, that's this month that they have lied. My dear brother, one reason why Allah did not mention names of the months, if you are to read the entire Quran, Allah mentioned the name of only one month. It is not the names that we are going to use to determine what? We are going to use to determine the month. No. Names can be easily be manipulated. Just like they are calling a month Dhul Hijjah. That is a lie. They are calling a month Muharram. There are 4 secret or forbidden months. Why should only one month be called Muharram? Just think about it. All these are invented. All these, they could just divert people to what? To any period and say this is what? This is Muharram or this is Dhul Hijjah. So the only month mentioned by name in the Quran is Ramadan. And Allah has shown us that Ramadan, that is Ayyamun Ma'dudat. Oh, my dear brothers and sisters. So the days, the months are known not by their names. It is not their names. Their names can be what? It can be manipulated. And also mankind, if you were to go to different places, everyone is having its language. My dear brothers, that's why Allah has given us the moon. The moon, irrespective of your location, irrespective of your language, irrespective of your race, it is something that we can use our own eyes to see. And anyone who is going to what? To dodge into what? Who is going to go deep into this issue is going to know any part of the world that you are going to know. When the crescent or the month begins, you can see. The same to the position where you are going to see the crescent. This is something that you can see with your own eyes, my dear brothers and sisters. So don't wait for this month of Ramadan to be over and rely upon the Hijri calendar that you are going to fast Ramadan of that Hijri calendar. That is a misguidance, my dear brothers and sisters. As if you are even to look at the Hijri calendar, they have the 1st, they have the 7th, the 11th, and the 12th to be the what? To be the forbidden or the sacred months. Therefore, when Quran chapter 9 verse 5, Allah is saying that when the forbidden months have passed, please ask yourself, when can the forbidden months pass? If the first month is a forbidden month, after the first month, one forbidden month has passed. Is that not so? But Allah said, when the forbidden months, which means it's in the plural form, 3 or more, when the forbidden months have passed, if you're following the Hijri calendar, that ayah cannot be implemented. Quran chapter 9 verse 5, when Allah said, when the forbidden months have passed, if you follow the Hijri calendar, that the first month is called, is a forbidden month. So after the first month, one forbidden month has passed. Allah did not say when one forbidden. Allah said when the forbidden months have passed. So plural, which means 3 or more, and the forbidden months are 4. So if you follow the Hijri calendar, there is no period that the forbidden months are going to pass. After the first month, that they call Muharram, after that first month, only one forbidden month has passed. After the 7th month, then we have 2 forbidden months have passed. The ayah said when the forbidden months, which means 3 or more, then we come to the 11th and the 12th. So when can we say even 3 forbidden months have passed? No. There will be no period that you can say 3 forbidden months have passed. And there is a narration. They have it in their books that the Prophet Muhammad said the forbidden months there are 12 months, out of which 4 are secret or forbidden, and 3 are consecutive. My dear brothers and sisters, you should use your brain. Allah is saying so many verses in the Quran. Afala ta'qilun. So if the hadith that they have it in Sahih Muslim, they have it in their hadith books, are saying, those narrations are saying that the Prophet, peace be upon him, said there are 12 months, out of which 4 are forbidden and 3 are consecutive. You should ask yourself, where are the 3 consecutive months? If we have the 1st, we have the 7th, we have the 11th and the 12th, where are the 3 consecutive? We don't have any 3 consecutive. Unless you are speaking of a period of 24 months. Simple calculation. Simple mathematics. We are talking about 3 consecutive months. 3 consecutive months. The hadith is saying what? 3 of the forbidden months are consecutive. This is false. Even if we are to agree for argument's sake, let's assume that you are going to agree. We know Allah has said that what? Ash-shahrul haram will be shahrul haram. The forbidden month is with the forbidden month. Meaning, they are all consecutive. They are all together. All the 4 forbidden months are consecutive. But even if we are to agree with Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah that only 3 are consecutive, we don't expect you people to take 2 months. That is the 11th and the 12th of another year. Then they go and take Muharram of another year. So you see, they have 11, 12, 1. 11, 12, 1. Meaning they can only get 3 consecutive months in a period of 24 months. The hadith did not even say that. The hadith said 12 months, 4 are sacred or forbidden, out of which 3 are what? Are consecutive. And the 12 months that they are following, there is no 3 consecutive months. Unless you are going to join a period of what? You are going to take 2 months from this year and take another forbidden month from another year to get 3 consecutive months. Does this make sense? Taking 2 holy months of a year and taking another holy month of another year to get 3 consecutive holy months. Whilst the hadith is saying there are 12 months, not 24 months. So they can only get 3 consecutive months in a period of 2 years. That is in a period of 24 months. My dear brother and sister, that is why they just said, they claim the forbidden, the Hijri calendar, it was invented after the Prophet Muhammad. Purposely, it was done purposely to mislead people from the way of Allah. My dear brothers and sisters, we don't know. You don't have the knowledge of the unseen. This might be the last time. You might not be able to meet the month of Ramadan. This is the month of Ramadan. You might not be able to meet this month ever again. Maybe you might think, oh, let me wait for what? Let me wait for years to come, or maybe next year I'm going to fast later. You don't know. And Almighty Allah has said, when the truth reaches you and you deny the truth, then you should know you have what? You are going to meet Allah, and Allah is going to question you. So if you have evidence to deny that the 12 months are not to be determined by the moon, however, the 12 months are to be determined by people, then you can keep on and follow the Hijri calendar. No problem. If that is what you have evidence that it is not the moon, it is not a divine issue, the position of the month, the month which is first, the month which is second, the month which is third. If you believe that that is not a divine issue, any month can be first, any month can be second, any month can be third. As is the what? As is the basis for the Hijri calendar. Then you can go on and follow that Hijri calendar. However, if you know that this is a misguidance, then you should know that you have to follow the truth. Almighty Allah should have mercy upon us. My dear brothers and sisters, may Allah give us the ability, may Allah make it easy for us to accept the truth. Almighty Allah said, none can believe except with the permission of Allah. You can never believe except with the permission of Allah. My dear brothers and sisters, and it's also not knowledge. Shaitan was very knowledgeable, but he disbelieved when Almighty Allah gave him a commandment. So you never say, you think you are going to say you believe in the Quran without Allah testing you. Allah is going to test you whether you really believe in the Quran. Almighty Allah is saying, Quran, this Quran, Allah said, Tibyana likulli shay'in wa hudan wa rahmatan wa bushra lil muslimin. Then Allah is asking, which hadith after this Quran, which hadith after the Quran are you going to believe? Which book after the Quran are you going to believe? You are going to follow books. Other books besides the Quran. What's the Quran? Allah has explained everything in detail, my dear brothers and sisters. So if you're going to follow other things besides the Quran, that is up to you, my dear brothers and sisters. Allah should save us from such a misguidance. The Hijri Calendar has got no basis in Islam. The truth has come and falsehood is meant to vanish. May Allah give us understanding. May Allah save us. May Allah protect us from shaitan. My dear brothers and sisters, may Allah have mercy. Give us the strength to fast this month of Ramadan, 13th of January 2024. The month of Ramadan, we have begun it based upon the position of the Christians. May Allah give us understanding. Alhamdulillah, my dear brothers and sisters. And also, one thing that we have to know is that the forbidden months, Ramadan is not part of the forbidden months, my dear brothers and sisters. When Almighty Allah said, Ashhur al-Hurum, the forbidden months, what are they? They are the months that particular thing like fighting is not allowed in that month. So we have we have the month of Ramadan. However, the month of Ramadan is having a special future because of one day. When we read the Quran, Allah has spoke about what? Allah has spoke about Laylatul Qadr. And Almighty Allah said what? Laylatul Qadr khayrun min alfi shahr. The day, it is one night. Why Ramadan is superior, is greater than what? Than all the months. It's not because it is part of the forbidden months. No. Almighty Allah himself has decreed that there should be one day in a month which is not part of the what? Which is not part of the forbidden months. But however, the month of Ramadan, Almighty Allah has put in one what? Has put in one night. That Allah is saying that the night of what? The night of Laylatul Qadr. Allah said, Khayrun min alfi shahr. It is better than what? It is better than 1,000 months. So because of that, all the forbidden months, they don't have that. They don't have that speciality. They don't have that future of Laylatul Qadr. It is the month of Ramadan, which is Ayyam what? Which is Ayyamul Ma'dudat, that Allah has placed in what? One night to have that blessing. That is why Ramadan is what? Is superior of all the what? Of all the months. May Allah give us understanding. Other than that, the 4 forbidden months, they have the same characteristics. The 4 forbidden months, which are the 5th, 6th, 7th, and the 8th months. 5, 6, 7, 8. That is it. That is the forbidden months. And Ramadan is the 9th month. May Allah give us understanding, my dear brothers and sisters. Even the Hijri calendar, they were able to what? To still put Ramadan at the 9th month. That is it. According to the Quran, Ramadan, Ayyamul Ma'dudat, is after the Hajj. So Hajj is before Ramadan. You cannot perform Hajj after Ramadan. Hajj is before the month of Ramadan. May Allah give us understanding, my dear brothers and sisters. Allah should save us from what? From the misguidance of Shaitan. And also, even if we to even look at the Hijri calendar, you find the 7th month to be what? The 7th month to be a forbidden month. So the 7th month is a forbidden month. So the Hijri calendar, you are going to find a forbidden month before Ramadan, and you are going to find also forbidden months after the month of Ramadan. That is a misguidance. You cannot divide the forbidden months into 2. So you are going to find the 1st and the 7th. The 1st and the 7th, which is Muharram, that they call Muharram and Rajab, to be before Ramadan. And you're also going to find another 2. That is the 11th and the 12th, to be what? To be after Ramadan. That doesn't make any sense. The forbidden months, they are consecutive. Either they are before Ramadan or they are after Ramadan. You cannot divide them into 2. As they have done it on the Hijri calendar. They have divided it. You are having the what? The 7th, which is before Ramadan. And you also have the 11th and the 12th, which is after the month of Ramadan. That is a misguidance. That is purposely why Almighty Allah has given us the moon to determine for us. To determine for us, not the names. The only month mentioned by name in the Quran is Ramadan. Because Allah said we should use the moon, the position, the declining positions, to know the what? To know the year, the years, the calculation of the years and the system of time. My dear brothers and sisters. So the 7th, the correct, the forbidden months, the 5th, 6th, 7th, and the 8th. So the 5th, 6th, 7th, and the 8th They are the forbidden months. Then comes Ramadan. So they are together. So if the Hijri calendar, you find that 1 month is standing alone, the 7th month. That is falsehood. They are together. They are all before the month of Ramadan. May Allah give us understanding, my dear brothers and sisters. Inshallah, we are going to continue. May Allah give us understanding. May Allah save us from shaitan, the outcast. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.